Hi, everyone. Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. Today, our Public Health Committee will be talking about safe exercise during the COVID-19 pandemic. So for me, I think it's really important to understand why we even exercise or do physical activity or promote physical activity in the first place. I know personally, I don't really want to work out if I don't know what it's going to do for me. So it's really good to understand why we are motivated to exercise. So here are the benefits of it. Some of the benefits include reduced risk of heart disease. So that includes things like hypertension and heart attack, stroke, type 2 diabetes, breast and colon cancer, depression, and reduces risk of other injuries. It'll also boost your immune system and reduce stress and anxiety. And I know that right now that's a really important thing with the pandemic going on. So we really want y'all to take that into mind. And it's a really healthy way to kind of cope with everything that's going on around you. And then lastly, or not lastly, but the last thing that we wanted to emphasize here is that it improves sleep quality and helps you sleep faster. So you don't need to take any sleeping supplements if you are regularly working out, and it should help you. The goals with this in terms of exercising is that you want to get at least or around 20 minutes a day, and that's really going to improve your cardiovascular health, so anything relating with your heart and circulation. And that's of moderate and intense workout, and we'll later explain how you can tell the difference between what a moderate or intense exercise is. And then the next thing is you can also do strength training, and we recommend that for 2 to 3 times a week. And that's going to help you with balance, bone health, controlling blood sugar, and your mobility. And now Katrina will talk about the data of how many people typically get their exercise. And we really want to raise that number for us to improve our own health.
Yes, so this data is from the CDC regarding physical activity from adults in the US. So according to the CDC, only about 53% of people met the physical activity guidelines for aerobic physical activity / cardio. And we'll kind of talk about what cardio is in the next couple slides. And furthermore, 23% of adults met the physical activity guidelines for both aerobic and muscle strength activities. And like Sam said, we encourage everyone to pursue exercise if they can, and we'll also give some examples later on.
Before we give out our examples, we want to tell y'all about how to safely exercise both outdoors and indoors. So I'll start off with the outdoors portion. First, you want to check the air quality outside. I know this was a really big thing during the fall when we had the wildfires, but it's still important now because there's a lot of things in the air, and we want to make sure that we can try to minimize it. So the best time to exercise is during the earlier parts of the day, in the morning or during non-commuting hours, because you'll get less exposure to the cars and the trucks on the road, and that's really going to reduce the exposure to the air pollutants. And then the non-commuting hours are before 6 a.m., during 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., and then after 7 p.m. in the evening. A good way to check what the air quality is outside is actually just on your iPhone. On this weather app, you can see at the bottom, if you scroll, there's an air quality, and it'll show you exactly what it is. So it says 25 good. That's where I live, Antioch. So you can see exactly if you should work out then or not. And then on the next slide, if you don't have an iPhone, that's okay. If you have any sort of internet access, you can just search up air quality in blank and then provide the city that you live in, and they'll be able to give that to you. And so you want to work out between green or yellow, or from 0 to 100 for the air quality index, which is just the AQI. Just keep in mind though that if you're reaching 51 to 100, it's a little bit more it's going to be a little bit more sensitive for those with pre-existing conditions like asthma. So just like be careful with that when you are exercising if it does get to 51 to 100. The next tip that we have for exercising outdoors coincides with the previous tip, in which you should avoid busy roadways because that may lead to accidents, and so you should try to work out in open spaces, grassy areas, like a park or a trail. And then on the left is actually a photo of Yerba Buena Gardens, which is really close to SOMA. And it's really pretty there too. And you can just take a really nice stroll there for about 20 minutes to 30 minutes, however long you want to. And then on the right is a link that we've provided that shows hiking trails by SOMA as well. And so if you want to take a hike, there's a link right there that will show you that. And then lastly, I think the most important thing right now is that you should still wear a mask. Again, even if there is a vaccine out, that doesn't mean everyone has it yet. And so it's still important to wear a mask when you work out outside, and that can include either a cloth mask or a surgical mask. And then for the tips that we have indoors is that you should wear shoes when exercising, even if you are inside the house. I know a lot of time Filipinos don't really wear shoes inside the house. Like for me, I have pangbahay chinelas, and that's just like house shoes. But it's still really important to wear them because if you are barefoot or if you just wear socks, that may cause slipping and it might cause a lot of strain on your knees. So it's really going to help if you have shoes to reduce that stress and to give you traction. And then the last tip that I have for indoors is that you should try to use an exercise mat, or if you have hardwood and you're using a rug or a towel, really just to make sure that you aren't putting any strain on your back or minimizing the strain on your back. And so here are some examples of what an exercise mat looks like and what you can do with the towel if you're doing back exercises, or you can just lay the towel flat like the exercise mat. And then I'm going to pass it on to Micah for tips on how to work out safely indoors and outdoors.
Yeah, so some other considerations that's really important to take into account when you're exercising. Definitely stay hydrated before, during, and after the exercise. So make sure to have a glass of water or a water bottle near you while you're starting your exercise. It's really important to avoid slippery areas so you don't slip or hurt yourself. And you do not need any fancy equipment or even a large workout space to start. In fact, all you need are the right exercises for the space you have available and comfortable, breathable clothing to do all of your exercises. And lastly, one of the most important things to consider as well is to understand your physical limitations and don't strain yourself by doing too much. And so if you're experiencing a very high heart rate, nausea, or lightheadedness, it's important that you take a break and stop and rest before continuing. And there's actually a test that we will teach you in the next slide on how you can do that. And so that test is called the talk test. And as a rule of thumb, a person doing moderate intensity aerobic activity can talk, but they cannot sing during the activity. And a person doing vigorous intensity activity cannot say more than a few words without pausing for a breath. And so the idea behind this is that the more intense the workout, the more breathless you will be, and the harder it should be to talk. And so two ways you can do this. The first way is by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, or really anything you want, and ask yourself if you can speak comfortably. And if yes, you're usually probably at low to moderate intensity. And if no, you're likely doing vigorous intensity activity. The second option would be to, before starting your workout, count as high as you can during an exhale. So for example, say if you count to 10, and then during your workout, count again during the exhale and compare the numbers. If the number counted during the exercise drops to about 70%, so this would mean dropping from like a 10 to 7, for example, that means you're doing moderate intensity exercise. And if it drops even lower than 7, then you're likely doing more vigorous intensity activities. And so some examples of different types of activities at the moderate and vigorous levels include brisk walking, water aerobics, cycling less than 10 miles per hour on flat terrain, playing tennis doubles, ballroom dancing, or general gardening. Whereas for vigorous intensity, this would include race walking, jogging or running, swimming laps, playing tennis singles, aerobic dancing such as Zumba, cycling greater than 10 miles per hour. That may include some hills and elevation, jumping rope, heavy gardening such as hole digging or hoeing, and lastly, hiking uphill with a heavy pack. And Katrina will also go into more of these activities in the next few slides.
Yes, so our public health committee wanted to recognize that we understand a lot of people think or have the conception that they have to change or compromise their workout routine because of the gym closures and the stay-at-home orders due to the pandemic. But we just really wanted to emphasize how easy and convenient it could actually be to work out at home. So here are some examples of moderate intensity exercises. One thing that's really easy and really fun, something that I like doing, is doing Zumba dances on YouTube. Usually they're follow along workout routines. So these burn about 600 to 1,000 calories in an hour. And like I said, it's really fun, so it's a great way to de-stress. It also improves coordination. And here are some examples of Filipino Zumba YouTube channels. So you can check out Live Love Party TV on YouTube, Simple Dance, Retro Groove Fitness. And if you're not really into dancing, you could check out YMCA 360 for a variety of different health and fitness videos. And later on, we'll have a slide with all these links written out for you. Another really fun and easy workout to do while at home is walking or hiking. So like Sam said, if you do choose to leave your house, remember to bring your masks just to stay safe. But walking or hiking can burn calories, lower blood sugar, ease joint pain, and boost your immune function. Oh, accidentally clicked.
So some other strength training exercises that you can do at home are toe taps and heel raises. And so for toe taps, they work to strengthen your shins, and they are as exemplified by the woman on the right. So what you do is you have to sit in a chair while keeping your heels on the ground, lift your toes off the ground high enough so that the muscles of the shin are felt working. And you can check this by touching your shins and seeing if they're firm. And this exercise also helps in the blood circulation with the legs. And you can do 20 repetitions or more if you're comfortable, and you can do more than one set to rotate with some other exercises. Heel raises strengthen your upper calves, and to do this, you also just sit in a chair while keeping your toes and balls of the feet on the ground. Just lift your heels, just like the woman on the right, and you can do 20 repetitions or more if you're comfortable. Lastly, bridges are also something you can do. All you need for this is a mat or a towel, like we had shown you earlier, and this works to stretch and strengthen your lower back. So by taking a deep breath, tighten the buttocks and tilt the hips forward slightly, just like the woman and the man in the two animations on the right. Hold that position for a count of 3, and then tilt the hips back and hold for 3 seconds. And that is one repetition together. And so you can do 10 to 12 of those in multiple sets, and you can switch off between these exercises with the other ones as well.
So the last strength training exercise we have for you are wall push-ups and regular push-ups. So the wall push-ups are pictured on the top image. So you'll start off with standing around 3 feet away, facing a wall, with your feet kept at shoulder width. Then you'll lean forward and put the hands flat on the wall in line with your shoulders. The body will be in a plank position, so kind of flat, and the spine straight. You'll lower the body towards the wall, and then you'll push it back with your arms. This will strengthen your shoulder and chest, and you'll want to do 10 repetitions or whatever you could do. Remember not to strain yourself. Finally, we'll have the regular push-ups to increase your challenge. So you could start practicing by doing your wall push-ups a little bit lower, but on stable surfaces, and you'll eventually work towards doing push-ups off the ground, like the bottom image. And if ground push-ups are too hard while doing them on your feet, you could always do it with your knees, which is a modified version.
And then we just wanted to provide you a way to access these websites afterwards. So these are free websites that you can use. And we've made a link tree, and a link tree is basically just a website that takes you to multiple other websites on whatever you want to access. So ours is given right here. So it's just Linktree, but there's a period in there between. So don't forget that /MHC_PH. And this link tree has the YMCA link link. And again, that's really good because if you don't want to dance, those are other guided exercises for y'all to do. And you can kind of look at it through ages. So if, and aim it towards your age specifically. There's a link on all of the Filipino Zumba channels that we provided. There's that link to the hiking spots that are near SOMA. And then we've also added a 15-minute workout for older adults on there. And so that's a really good way to get in your exercise. Again, all the links include either cardio and or strength training exercise. To emphasize on that, cardio is anything like swimming, biking, running, and walking. And then strength training is really anything that aims to improve your strength. And you don't really have to have weights to do it, but it's really a cool thing to do. And you can like match it with your physical level at the moment. And then on the next slide are more takeaways on what we want to summarize and what we really want for y'all to stick what we really want to stick for y'all. And the first thing is that exercise has so many benefits. And so maybe if you're not looking to improve your sleeping, at least you're looking to improve like your cardio health or something like that, or cardiovascular health. For number 2 is you only really need about 20 minutes of exercise every day. Exercise is not as daunting as it seems to be. And so that goes on to point number 3. Exercise can be fun. And again, you don't need a lot of space. Some of the exercises we provided, like you just need a chair for it. So that's really cool. And then if you do wish to exercise outside, or if that's what you prefer, just please wear a mask if you do go outside, because that will really help you.
And here we have a poll question. So you could comment down below on the Facebook live stream what you think the answer is. It's pretty challenging, but the question is, all of these are benefits of exercise, except A, it improves the health of your dog, B, boosts your immune system, C, reduces your stress and anxiety, or D, reduces risk of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, cancer, depression, and injuries. I'll give everyone a couple seconds to fill out their answer. Okay, I see that the answers are coming in now. So the correct answer is actually, I'll give it a couple more seconds, just in case. I see some people are holding up answers on the Zoom. Okay, so the correct answer is A. Unfortunately, exercise does not improve the health of your dog, but you could always take your dog out for a walk and improve the health of your dog if you want to do that.
Thank you, Katrina, for that poll question. It was really hard, so I don't know how you came up with that. We have our references here, and we just wanted to give a big shout out to UCSF's physical therapy department for helping us out with proofreading our slides and making sure we have all the correct information to give out to y'all. And then on the next slide, we just wanted to say thank you to everyone. And then if you had any questions, to let us know. We'd also like to give a special thank you to SOMCAN for collaborating with us today as well.